Hello, everyone. I'm Chase Lee, and welcome to another episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live with me, Chase Lee, and my co-host,
Brian Sudfield.
That's fucking right. And hey, listen, guys, if you're new to the show, welcome. Hopefully I didn't scare you off too much. What we do on the show is we take a look at the movies coming out on Friday, and we will, pick an actress, actor, topic, genre, whatever, and we will honor said movie coming out on the weekend with the top 5 list to our choosing of said topic. And the cool thing about the show is that it's live, so we have no idea what the hell's going to come out of our mouths, and we don't know each other's lists, so it makes it all the more fun. Join in on the conversation and tell us your list down below for the topic. But before we get into our topic, Brian, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Oh man, it's fucking Oscar season. I will tell you that much. There's so many movies coming out. I'm doing pretty good. You know what's really funny is Brian and I are like. Here's the deal, folks. We these episodes upload on Saturday, right? And we're recording this on Election Day on Tuesday night. So basically, at the time of this recording, pretty much by tonight, the world will change, and we don't know that yet. So by Saturday, we will know who it is, and we'll be more in the know. But right now, we're still scared little children. So. Just letting you guys know what is when we're recording. So I thought it was a nice little fun fact. All right, so Brian, what are we doing this week?
This week, Arrival comes out in theaters, and we are honoring the film's lead star, Amy Adams.
Yeah, and I know I'm going to be very controversial when I say this, but when I was doing her list, in terms of like picking out the movies on IMDb and like what I've seen and whatnot, she is like the queen of supporting actress. And now you might look at that and be like, oh, that's really shitty. You're saying that she's never going to be lead. No, I'm not saying that. And you also have to keep in mind, this recording is before Brian and I have seen Nocturnal Animals and Arrival, which I've heard she's fantastic in. So at the time of this episode of what we're doing, I can tell you out of all the ones I've seen, she is basically the queen of supporting actress roles, and that is not a bad thing. And I will have my supporting arguments, pun intended, for my films on my list and whatnot. But I that's the way I see her until I see Arrival and Nocturnal Animals. Brian, how do you see Amy Adams? Do you think of her more as a nice supporting actress, or do you see her as more of a lead and more of a prominent figure?
Supporting all the way. I mean, practically let's face the facts, every Oscar that she's gotten nominated for, except for American Hustle, is supporting actress. Let's not face facts. I mean, in every movie, she's basically a supporting character. Now she's more lead, so it's a little different. But regardless, she's an amazing talent. She's sexy as hell. She's really charming. She's really awesome. And when she could be in dramatic stuff, she's great. When she's a comedy, she could be great. I love Amy Adams. She's one of my favorites. So I could say I love her so much.
I do as well. And when you guys see my number 1 and my number 2 pick, they're so versatile and so different from one another just from those two. That just proves to you right there that she is a talent and she can literally do anything and cross any genre and any boundary. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about her. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Number 5, Brian, what do you got? What is your number 5 favorite Amy Adams film of all time so far?
My number 5 goes to The Master.
Okay.
Now, the reason why this isn't so high for me is because, as you may know, I don't love this movie as much as you do, but I still think it's a damn good movie. Well done. PTA directed it. I mean, to me, the best performances are from Joaquin and Philip Seymour Hoffman, but Amy Adams was great in the movie. She was awesome. She worked together so well with Joaquin and Philip, so well. I mean, she was kind of like in the middle of all this, and she was great. I loved her in this movie. The movie is very good. It deserves at least a few watch-ins to appreciate it, but I can tell you right now, I love Amy in this movie. Probably her best performance that I've seen from this decade so far. But that being said, like when I see Arrival and Nocturnal Animals, that will probably change. But The Master, pretty damn good film. Great job from Amy. But like I said, the best performances are from Joaquin and Philip Seymour Hoffman. But in my opinion, particularly Joaquin Phoenix. The Master is my number 5.
I'm going to pass, which is no shock to Brian. So, yeah, so my number 5, I'm going to go with the one that basically started her career off. Now, she's been acting since like the early 2000s, 2001, 2002, kind of around that time. So she's actually kind of like Rachel McAdams from last week in terms of her acting pedigree. I went with this one where that pretty much launched her into the stratosphere. And it's not my favorite film, but out of the ones I've seen, I have to give this one a nod just because of what started her career in terms of really putting her in the spotlight. I've got to go with Enchanted. And you know what's really funny about Amy Adams is that if you just put her in any Disney film, you would just assume that she is some type of princess in some way, shape, or form. The way she acted in that movie was so kind of playful and lighthearted and very ditzy and very, just happy. Like, I mean, it's just, rarely ever see that in movies where it's like very optimistic type of characters. But at the same time, they're also poking fun at the fairy tale princess type of genre that Disney has, which is ironic considering Disney made this movie. But I thought what she kind of captured was the kind of cross, like on the line of like satire and actually being like a real life princess. So I kind of like that balance, and it's a nice little movie. I mean, that's all I can basically say, but you have to give that one a nod because if it wasn't for that movie, I don't know if she would be as big as she is, because if you look at her past films, Amy Adams was in like some garbage movies. Like I'm talking like low budget stuff. So I believe this, like, and she was in like smaller roles, like in kind of medium-sized films, but this is the one that kind of like big blockbuster, hey, let's put yourself in front of people's eyes type of deal. That's why I'm going to go with this one as my number 5 is basically her big screen blockbuster debut. So, Brian, what say you? Are you going to pass on this, or are you going to fluff it up some more?
First of all, I don't like promoting things, but I really want pizza from this place that's down the street from my campus, so I might order it right after we record.
Okay,
and
God damn it, Brian. If you're going to bring up sponsors, you better call their asses up and be like, listen, give us some money, and we're gonna promogive you guys. Don't be doing free shit. Come on, what are you doing?
Okay. I'll call Tommy Lasagnas. Just give me a minute.
That sounds like if Tony Soprano was like, who's the fucking dry cleaners down the street? Yeah, it's Tony Lasagna. Like, it just sounds like the worst fucking name to ever give yourself. So, anyways,
it is a pretty bad name, but I heard that the food is really good, so I might consider ordering it. Now, with Enchanted, I am going to have to pass on this one.
Okay, then. So it's a little higher on your list. But thank you, Brian, for bringing up hunger on the mind, because now I'm fucking hungry. All right. So, yeah, I guess moving on to number 4. Brian, what'd you got?
My number 4 is a film I brought up a while back. I think I brought it up on the Philip Seymour Hoffman episode. So yeah, it's not The Master. My number 4 is Doubt.
Ding, 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 ladies and gentlemen, we actually have a winner. It's been a while since we've had the same slot. I'll go first on this one only because I haven't seen it in a while, but I can tell you that it left a mark on me, kind of like what Spotlight did, considering the tone and controversy around the movies. But with Doubt, once again, you go from Enchanted to Doubt, it's like, what the hell just happened? The whole movie is bleak, and it has like this gray kind of like cloud over it, and you just feel this dread of these 3 people in the church system trying to figure out like if Philip Seymour Hoffman, committed sexual assault or not. And Amy Adams is kind of like the goody two-shoes one, where she's like, not saying she doesn't really know anything, but she's kind of like, she's just there trying to help figure it out with Meryl Streep and whatnot. But I don't, like I said, I don't remember her like character that well, but I do remember her performance was very subtle, was very subdued. There was nothing really like outspoken in terms of like a loud performance. It was just like, it was nice. It was a nice little addition to her resume, and it's just a really well-rounded, tense little thriller that's all dialogue-based. And it is based on a play, so that makes sense. So in terms of an actual film, I think it's a nice little suspenseful thriller, which is weird to say about priests, but that's what it is. So yeah, that's why I like this one quite a bit. She is not the standout, but she's a nice addition to a good movie. And you're also going toe to toe with Meryl fucking Streep and Philip Seymour Hoffman. So that's my thoughts on Doubt. So Brian, what say you? What can you add to it that I haven't said already?
Well, you pretty much said everything I was gonna say, but yeah, the reason why I like this movie is because I like movies that feel like plays and are based on plays, and this is so self-contained. It's a really great film. Don't know what to expect when watching it. I mean, you don't know if Philip Seymour Hoffman did what he's accused of, and like you're just hoping that he didn't. But yeah, you're rooting for Meryl Streep. You're rooting for Meryl Streep to take care of this business, and Amy Adams, like you said, her character doesn't stand out or anything, but she gives a really good performance in this movie as someone subdued, trying to help out Meryl Streep. And then there's Viola Davis in this movie too, who's also very good. So yeah, Doubt is a really well done movie. It didn't really get a lot of recognition when it came out. It only got recognition for its acting performances. But for those who are kind of scared to see it, I can totally understand the subject matter. It's not pretty. It's not fun to watch a movie about a priest potentially raping the kid. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. But I can tell you that as a film lover, it's a really well done film. And if you're someone who's going to like screenwriting, check this film out because the dialogue is amazing in this movie. The story is great, self-contained, love it. Great film.
Is from what I remember correctly, because once again I haven't seen it in a while. I do own it. I actually know where it's at. It's right there on my shelf over here. But is Amy Adams the one that witnesses it, and she's the one that tells Sister Streep or whatever what she saw? That's how it went down, right?
See, the thing is, I haven't seen it forever either, so I don't remember entirely. I think it was Amy Adams. I think it was her.
I think she was the one that either discovered it, like something kind of fishy going on, and she kind of told on him. But I was thinking about it, and like, you know, Philip Seymour Hoffman's very convincing, and you know, he kind of tells them like, I didn't do this. Meryl Streep is like, oh, but people saw you do this. So each of them have kind of like a side. Amy Adams is in the middle because she doesn't know what to believe. Like, she saw what she saw, but Philip Seymour Hoffman is also very convincing in telling her that nothing was wrong. So she's kind of like the audience a little bit, like the audience's eyes and the perspective, like, you know, which side do I kind of go with, even though I, you know, saw it or whatever. He's convinced me otherwise. So I don't know. It's a very would you say underrated?
Yes.
Yeah, no one really ever talks about it. As far as like stage play based films, I would say it's one of my favorites. Like, I'm not going to make like a top 10 list or anything, but I'd say it's very a very enjoyable watch on that regards. But yeah, so that's cool. We haven't had one in common in a long time. So yeah, moving on to number 3. What you got?
My number 3 is The Muppets.
Okay.
Ooh, I was hoping you had this. All right. Muppets are a big part of my childhood. I remember when I went to go see this movie, I was so excited to see it. It is her and Jason Segel. Simple story. They're a couple. They bring this Walter guy, and they try to get the Muppets back together. It's a great story. I mean, I did not expect this film to get the love that it got. It has like a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is absolutely crazy, but so well deserving. Because first of all, I want to give a shout out to the script. Jason Segel co-wrote this with Nicholas Stoller. Amazing script, great script. If you're a fan of the Muppets, there's nice callbacks to the original series, the original films, and there's a lot of heart to this movie. And the songs too, Man or Muppet, great song, won the Oscar for Best Song. James Bobbin directed this. This was the first exposure to him. He directed this. The sequel, which was okay, they directed that shitty Alice in Wonderland film that came out this year. Gross. It sucks to be him for that one. But Amy Adams, like you said with Enchanted, whenever she's in a Disney movie, she feels like she's a Disney princess. She shines so much in this movie that she was incredible. She was so good in this movie. And I think this was the first film she did after The Fighter, doing like a dark boxing film like that, boxing drama like that. And then you see her in this, and you're like, wow, what a versatile actress. She's so good in this movie, and her chemistry is so good with Jason Segel, and she works so well with all the Muppets. It's a great performance. I love her so much in this movie. One of my favorite films of 2011. I love the Muppets a lot. I'm glad they came back with this movie, and then they made that sequel. Then they made that TV show, which shouldn't have gotten canceled. That show was so good. It got so much better when it ended, and of course, they had to cancel it because it was too adult. But anyways, the Muppets, great film.
I'm going to have to pass, but I will add that the TV show was great. I thought that was really funny. I don't know why people were bitching about the humor. It's like the Muppets have always been kind of like that borderline, almost like adult and kid type of show where it's like you can have that innuendo for the adults, but you can still have the kiddie stuff for the kids. So whatever. I digress. My number 3 is a lot of people are going to look at me weird because she's not even in the movie for that much, but she's very pivotal to the main character. And all around, it's one of my favorite romance movies of definitely the past decade. I got to go with her. Now, you're probably thinking, like, where does she even show up in her? She shows up in the middle and at the very end. And I'm not going to say what happens, but I will say for the importance of Joaquin Phoenix's character to progress as a character and to kind of accept the reality that he lives in, Amy Adams is important for the movie. She doesn't have that many lines, but she's very important for his character progression, and it's an all-around great movie. You want to talk about an emotionally investing movie with Scarlett Johansson singing you to sleep through your phone? You never would have thought in a million years like that would be a good fucking movie. But the romance between this Siri in the phone and Joaquin Phoenix is very palpable. When you're watching it, you're like, wow, I actually feel something for these two people, but oh shit, Siri's not a person. She's a fucking computer. She's AI. So that's how convincing ScarJo is in her voice and her performance. But going back to Amy Adams, very pivotal, not in it for long, but all around great romance film. So yeah, Brian, what say you?
All right, look, here's the thing.
Oh my God, I fucking quit. I quit. Did you hear me over there? I fucking quit.
Okay. Look, I was so pumped for her. No one took me to see it. I wanted to see it badly, so I waited for it on cable. I expected to love it because everybody, including you, was praising the shit out of it.
Yeah, because it's fucking awesome.
And I just liked it. Now, that doesn't mean I hate it. Look, Chase, there have been movies that you've seen where the hype ruined it for you, and you have to agree with me on that. This was one of those movies where it was too hyped, and I feel bad. I don't like being the only one who didn't love this film. I'm like the only person who didn't love this film. I don't hate the film. I just think the film is just good. And Amy Adams, she's very good in the film. She's very, very good. But I just didn't love the film like I wanted to. Will I give it another chance? Of course I will if I could ever find it. But like I said, I like the film. It's just I don't love it. And I don't hate anyone for loving it. I don't hate anyone. It's just that I wish I loved it like everyone else did. Now I'm probably going to kill myself.
I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. No, that's fine. No, I actually saw it. I saw it late because I remember January 2014 is when I saw it, so I actually could not put it on my top 10 of the year of 2013 when it actually did come out because I'm in Dallas and sometimes we poop shit out like in the middle of January and like, oh, it came out last year type of deal. So, okay, I'll let it slide. I mean, I like your other picks so far, so I'll let you slide. All right, moving on to our top 2 guys. This is really interesting because I didn't even think about this until as we were recording. I know what Brian's number 1 is. And I didn't know what it was until I looked at my fucking list of all the things she's been in, and I saw it. I saw the one movie that Brian likes to pop a boner over pretty much every single time we get a chance to talk about it. So, Brian, for your number 2, I'm going to say you put in Enchanted at number 2.
You are absolutely correct.
Which means I know you're number 1. I know you're number 1 now.
You know my number 1, and the fact that it's not even on your list, I am disappointed.
You calm yourself, sir. I will explain my top 2 choices.
Okay, I already know what they are, and I already know you're number one. So, yeah, unless if you go the different way. But, I mean, anyway. Okay, so Enchanted was the first thing I ever saw of Amy Adams. And I remember it was Thanksgiving weekend. I went with so many people to go see it in my family tree. And it was fucking awesome. Now, I'm a big musical fan. I think okay. I brought that up numerous times on the show, and I'm still going to bring it up every time we talk about a musical. What I love so much about this particular film is that it's a parody of musicals. It mocks the Disney musicals, which is something awesome. I didn't realize that until I got older. And I'm like, this is so well realized. It's like, that's awesome. And Amy Adams kills it in this film. She is so good as Giselle. She is awesome in this film. She is so stupid. And I mean, you understand why. And you're shocked. Over time, you're like, Amy Adams played this character. And it's weird because you see her in movies like The Master and The Doubt and My Number One. And Her and Nocturnal Animals and Arrival. It's weird. And American Hustle. It's weird whenever you see her in movies like this. But she kills it so much in this movie. Her singing is fantastic. She sings so good. It's awesome. Her acting in this movie is actually really excellent. And her back and forth with Patrick Dempsey and James Marsden's all good, all around the board. The entire cast is fantastic. The music is great, but Amy Adams, like, she feels like a princess. Giselle is a live-action princess. She may not be one of those actual Disney princesses, but in my eyes, I consider her a Disney princess. And at the end, when she's at that ball rocking that normal dress, I can't tell you the last time I saw Amy Adams that sexy. Oh, wait, American Hustle, excuse me. And Nocturnal Animals, which I haven't seen. But yes, Enchanted is a great film. I love it. I still love it to this day. It gets better at this age, personally. Enchanted's fantastic. And if you haven't seen it, please do consider checking it out. Do I want this sequel coming out? I don't know. I'm still debating about it. But if she comes back, I think she's going to give it her all. So, yeah, Enchanted's my number 2.
You know what's really sad about this episode as we're recording, I'm thinking about it, is if we do an Amy Adams Revisited, I will bet you $100 that both Nocturnal Animals and Arrival will be on there instead of 2 of our picks. That's what's kind of sad about this whole thing. But, yeah, I got to do my number 2. I was lost for a second. My number 2, I'm going to go with the Muppets. I'm going to go with the fucking Muppets because that's just the way it goes. I did not grow up watching the Muppets. I thought it was a nice little, TV show, movie or whatnot. Like, I would see episodes here and there. I would see the movies periodically as a kid. But as far as the 2011 movie goes, I didn't know what to expect. Now, Jason Segel was coming off of Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which he also wrote and starred in as well. And Nicholas Stoller directed Forgetting Sarah Marshall when he came over to do this one. I was just pleasantly surprised by it. Like, first of all, I did not expect that movie to be as fucking funny as it was. I loved all the self-referential shit. I loved all the clever shit. It was just a really funny fucking movie. And Amy Adams, once again, going back to her Enchanted kind of days, she plays like kind of like that very like bubbly, like full of life character, and like you believe every single second, even though they're playing like normal people supposedly. But that's what makes it all the fun. And I thought her chemistry with Jason Segel was really great. You know what it actually reminded me of was Allison Hannigan and Jason Segel in How I Met Your Mother. I don't know, maybe it's because of the red hair. I have no fucking clue. But it reminded me of that. And the chemistry was off the charts. Very fun family film. Very funny. I think it's just something you could pop in front of a family and everyone's going to enjoy it. It's all ages around, and Amy Adams and Jason Segel, ace. So, yeah, that's my number 2 is The Muppets, 2011. All right, guys, getting to our number 1. This is it. This is what we've all been waiting for. The one film that Brian had on his list that I didn't even fucking think about until halfway recording this episode. Brian, can you explain to me why you love Catch Me If You Can like so goddamn much?
That's not my number 1.
Oh my god, guys! This is a top 5 Saturdays Live first.
Here's the thing. You know I love that movie to death. You know that's like in my top like 5 favorite films ever made. but she's not one of the main characters. She's only in the movie for about a half hour. Her stuff with Leo is amazing, but
it doesn't matter. In the movie she's literally on screen for maybe 15 minutes. So
yeah, but the thing is, I didn't really want to put Catch Me If You Can as my number one.
Okay, now we actually have a genuine drum roll now. So Brian, what is it?
The Fighter.
Oh, fucking of course, The fucking Fighter. Yeah, I knew it. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah, you knew it, and then you put Catch Me If You Can as my number one.
Yep, I'm an idiot.
I cannot believe you don't have The Fighter on your list.
Would you just fucking chill? Like, my number one, I love to death. So you go and take.
I don't need it to be your number one. I said if it was in your top five, it would be fine.
Well, I enjoy my list more than The Fighter. So
okay. Yes, The Fighter. I love this story so much. Mickey Ward, Mark Wahlberg, and Dickie Elko and Christian Bale. Amy Adams is Charlene, Mickey Ward's love interest. She's a very pivotal character to the story. This was the first time I ever saw her where she was actually like really, really, really sexy and dirty, and it was great. And what I mean by dirty is that she's a bartender in Boston. She's not really the wealthiest person. I mean, neither is Mickey Ward, but it's great stuff, and I love her in this film. I love her chemistry with Mark Wahlberg. I really bought them as a couple. I think this is one of her best performances to date. I don't know if I would consider this my favorite performance she's ever given, but it's one of my favorites that she's ever given. And when you're under the direction of David O. Russell, you know that you're always going to get caliber performances from your actors. I'm just a big fan of boxing movies, and this is one of my favorite films ever made. I've always loved The Fighter since I saw it in the theater, and I just love her in it. I love both the leads, and I love Melissa Leo in it too. And the Boston accents, I love Boston so much. I can't think of a good line. I'm trying to think of one that she said. I have to say one with the accent. Cheap bastard, cheap fucker. It was something like that. Fucker. Fucker. It was something like that. I was close enough, but The Fighter, amazing film, just awesome. Love it so much. I understand if people don't love it. I get it, but it's such a great story that it's hard not to like it. And I can understand why it's not Chase's number one. I totally get it. Because his film, it's a well-done film. It's just not one that I adore. But hey, it's still awesome. And if you guys have not seen The Fighter, please do yourself a favor and check it out because it is well done. I mean, one Christian Bale an Oscar, one Batman an Oscar. I mean, the fact that everyone got nominated over Mark Wahlberg, that still pisses me off to this day. But hey, it's an awesome film. Love it so much. The Fighter, check it out. My favorite Amy Adams film, personally.
Yeah, and just real quick before I get into The Fire, Brian's going to be really angry, but I can't attend it. I got an email saying I got a screening invite to La La Land, but I can't attend it. So there you go, Brian. We'll both be in the doghouse because I can't see it on that day. Anyways, just keep coming in. The Fighter, I really like, and that was my first exposure to David O. Russell's type of movies, and I love The Fighter. I love Silver Linings Playbook. American Hustle, I'm still okay with it. Still to this day, I don't know why the fuck I own it. I think it's because it was like $3 at a pawn store, and I bought it just for the fuck of it. But I liked everyone's performances in The Fighter. You guys know my stance on Marky Mark. I love the guy. Yeah, no, it's a good one. But guys, my number one, I'm a huge fan of the good old PTA. I got to go with The Master. And that year was very good for that film. All three of the actors got nominated. Joaquin for Best Actor, Philip Seymour Hoffman for Best Supporting Actor, and then Amy Adams for Best Supporting Actress. So great. Such a great, dark fucking movie about Scientology, because they can fucking deny all they want, but it is goddamn Scientology. You just shut your mouth if you think so otherwise. Anyways, the way the movie is shot It is like a cerebral nightmare. It is beautiful. It is haunting. The performances are like some of the best you'll ever see. If you are an aspiring actor, you need to watch this film and watch Joaquin Phoenix. I still contend to this day that this is the best performance he's ever given. And I would actually say next to her. I actually like both of those performances of his. But as far as this one goes, the music is great. The cinematography is beautiful. The acting is out of this world, and all three of them are fantastic. Like, her chemistry with Philip Seymour Hoffman, which is really funny because I'm looking at my list right now. She has done 2 movies with Philip Seymour Hoffman, and she's done 2 movies with Joaquin Phoenix. Like, that's just crazy. But as far as this one goes, she plays the wife of Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, and she does it just as well as the guys, and she holds her own. She's a really great character, and the overall movie, I get it, not for everyone. It's a very weird fucking movie, but if you're a fan of Paul Thomas Anderson, who has done films like Boogie Nights and There Will Be Blood and Punch Drunk Love, the guy is a master at telling stories, whether they be controversial or not. The guy just creates sweeping epics. That's just what he does. Boogie Nights, that is a sweeping biopic about the porn industry. Punch Drunk Love is his romantic comedy. There Will Be Blood is his horror film. I would say The Master is like his psychological thriller almost. Not thriller, but psychological for sure. It is a movie that definitely fucks with the mind, and it really kind of explores cults and how cults work and how people can be brainwashed and whatnot. It's a very fascinating little movie, and I think all three of them are very, very good, and that's my favorite thing that she's ever been a part of thus far. And that's until we see Nocturnal Animals and Arrival for sure. So, yeah, since Brian already had his list, he doesn't need to talk about it. So, guys, here's our list right here. Top 5 representing all day, son. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 in common. So basically, we just swapped out her and the fighter, and we would have had the same list. But yeah, that just kind of shows you that she can do everything. Look at the Muppets. That is a wholesome family film. Look at The Master. It is a dark, fucking fucked up movie. Look at Doubt. That is a very controversial movie about priests and sexual assault. Look at Enchanted. It's a musical kind of parody on musicals and fairy tales. The woman can just do anything. And speaking of anything, getting to honorable mentions, I'll say right off the bat, I love Man of Steel quite a bit. I did not like her as Lois Lane. However, in BVS, Dawn of Justice, that actually turned me around. And I actually liked her more in that as Lois Lane. I think she's actually a good representation of that character from the comics. So those 2 for sure. The Fighter, and that's it. That's all I have. Because all the rest I've seen are just either okay at best. And of course, Catch Me If You Can. But Brian, what say you? I have to ask you because we don't really get to talk about it that much. Do you like her as Lois Lane?
I mean, I'm with you. I didn't really care for her as Lois Lane in Man of Steel. I will say in BVS she was better. I will put both of those films in my honorable mentions. I'll put Catch Me If You Can, obviously, in a heartbeat. While I don't love American Hustle, I will say it was the most overrated film 2013. I loved her in it. She was fantastic, in my opinion. Charlie Wilson's War, Tom Hanks, Julia Roberts, great movie. Big Eyes, I thought she was great in that. Tim Burton's comeback film.
Forgot about that.
And I'll give a shout out to a film which is just fine, but she's really awesome in it. Night at the Museum 2, she played Amelia Earhart, and
that's fucking that right. Well. That's
she embodied that role very well.
Yeah, I forgot she was in that. Yeah, I agree on some of those, but just jumping into dishonorable mentions. I gotta be honest with you, I didn't really care for Big Eyes like at all. She was fine. I thought Christoph Waltz was very like hammy, and I thought he was like super over the top. And as a film, Tim Burton, no thank you. I'll put that in your bottom 3. Yeah, that's about it, I guess, because my list, I guess American Hustle, because like the more I think about it, like the more it's just okay in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing about Amy Adams is she really hasn't done anything atrocious yet that I've seen. Now she has done like really low budget things in the past, and I really want to look them up in the future. But as of right now, yeah, I guess Big Eyes would be my worst, and then American Hustle just okay. So yeah, she doesn't really have like that many stinkers. So Brian, what about you?
There's only one thing that she did that I didn't like, and that's Leap Year, which is like a romantic comedy. Oh, so bad, horrible. F.
I did not see that, but it looked pretty bad.
F. Horrible film. Horrible. Just gross. I hate it.
Okay, well, we'll end on that note. Leap Year is officially gross. It is top 5 Saturdays Live certified. So what say you guys? What are some of your favorite and least favorite Amy Adams films? Comment place room on face and let me know. I'm talking to you, Kenny. You're our number one fan. I expect to see a list every single week because you're our boy. You got to be represented. So, yeah, for all you, all the rest of you people out there, go ahead and put some down there. I want to read your stuff, and I'll reply back for sure. Brian, what are we doing next week?
Okay, this is going to be a very, very different episode for our show. We're not doing someone on an actor. We're not doing someone on a director. We're not doing someone on a genre. We are going to be doing scenes from a franchise. Now, what franchise are we talking about? We're talking about Harry Potter, motherfuckers, because Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them finally comes out next week. So we're going to be doing our top 5 Harry Potter moments.
This is going to be very, very fun, only because I have not read any of the books still, and I've only seen the movies. And so I only have an interpretation of the movies and as they are presented. And I love this idea. I fucking love this idea because I'll guarantee you both of our lists are going to be extremely different. Unless like the probability of us nailing one of them in common, there's so many scenes, guys, that we can pick from. It'll be interesting to hear like reasonings as to why. And I'm going to be quite frank with you guys. Most of my picks will probably be from the latter half of the franchise just because I remember a lot of the darker ones more from Prisoner of Azkaban onward. But, I mean, I'll have to kind of just like I'm not going to rewatch all of them. I don't have time for that. But I'll kind of skim through the Wikipedia articles and just be like, oh, yeah, I remember that happened in the first one. Or oh, yeah, that happened in the second one. But, yeah, most of my picks will probably be from the newer stuff just because I remember those theater experiences even more than the earlier ones. So, yeah, I'm really excited. Brian, what's say you? Are you pretty excited for that shit?
Oh, you know I love Harry Potter. This is my favorite franchise ever. I love the films. I'm also one of the book readers, so it's like a big part of my life. And I went to the Wizarding World. I read that Cursed Child in like 3 hours. Yeah, so I'm stoked. This is gonna be a really difficult list for me to make. This is gonna be really difficult. I don't even know where to begin. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a really wicked episode.
Yeah, I'm really excited for next week. So yeah, get excited, guys. Next week's should be a really fun ride. It should be vastly different on every single slot on our list. So yeah, so that will do it for this week, guys. Brian, where can the people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at BrianSuts98 and on YouTube at Brian Sutfield.
Yeah, and you guys can find me on Twitter at RealChaseLee. And if you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then you get up to dates on when we do these things and when I post them and spread it around and let people know this is the definitive top 5 show. And yeah, Amy Adams, good fucking stuff. So that will do it for this week's episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live. I'm Chase Lee.
I'm Brian Sutfield.
That's fucking right. See you peeps next week. You guys are all badass. Continue to support the show and continue to watch it and stuff. And just tell everyone. Because I know that there's only a small group of you out there that watch this stuff, and we really appreciate it. So continue to do so. You guys are fucking awesome. Peace out.